November's pending home sales falling 0.4%, 4%, excuse me. That is the 12th straight month-over-month decline for this index. This was a lot worse than expected, folks. It's the worst number on record, excluding data that was gathered during the pandemic. I want to bring in Emphas Digital Risk Founder and Managing Director and Mortgage Bankers Association board member, Jeff Taylor. Jeff, it's great to have you here. We have a lot of questions for you this morning, but first, the pending home sales number, I mean, this is existing home sales. That's not new home sales, and this was a big hit. Do you think that this is actually leading us into the bottoming out of the housing market in the spring of 23?
Thanks for having me, Cheryl. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And when you look at the numbers, right, we're now down 10 months for existing home sales and 6 months for new sales contracts. I think as we head into next year, it is going to be probably the lowest point for the refi market that we've seen in the last 5 years. But from a purchase market perspective, I think there's a lot of opportunities depending upon where you live in the country and how aggressive you're willing to get. So what do I mean by that? If you look at new home sales, they were actually up the last 2 months. And that's because NAHB shows that over 60% of home builders were actually rate buy downs and really creative incentives to get people into the market. So if I come back to existing home sales, what I would do if I was the buyer is I get very creative about making very aggressive prices and saying that if I'm going to go ahead and buy, I would go ahead and get very, very aggressive about making offers right now, because a year down the road, if the MBA is right in our forecast, if rates come down 1 full percentage, then you're going to see that pendulum shift back to a seller's market, which is right now we're in a buyer market opportunity.
Hey, Jeff, it's Joe Concha. My wife and I may or may not be looking to buy another house. We're not looking to move to another state or anything, basically within our neighborhood, but the kids are getting bigger and the house is feeling smaller. So is your advice basically now, considering where the fixed mortgage rate is, which I think is around 6.27%, just off the top of my head, I would think that the advice should be, and this is probably what we're going to do, but I want to talk to an expert like you, do we wait a year, 2 years before we sell, because we haven't seen home prices drop too much? We're in New Jersey, but at the same time, interest rates are so high right now, and the market has completely frozen. In other words, I don't see any new homes going on the market, and I don't see any of the ones that are on there coming off right now. So is wait and see the best way to go right now?
So from a buying perspective, I would absolutely, I'd get into the market and, like I just said, make very aggressive offers.
Right now.
Get the price point that you want.
Even with the mortgage rates where they are?
From a buying perspective, yes, because look, a year down the road, because right now you have the leverage. You're coming in, you're going to say, okay, that house is listed, example, $700,000. I'm going to offer you $520,000, and that seller's going to have to make a decision. Do I want to sell right now? You have the leverage to make those offers. A year down the road, if rates come down a full percentage, and again, we're expecting them to be about 5.3 to 5.5 next year, then all of a sudden it's going to slightly flip, and the sellers are going to feel like they're in a little bit more stronger position to make that decision for you. But if you also can buy now and then maybe rent your house for a year or hold it for a year, that could put you in a good position to actually maximize your sale down the road.
Either way,
Todd's
not going to help me move. Yeah, Todd's not going to help me move.
Jeff, let me hop in here. Todd Pyro. Unlike Joe,
Sure.
I will not be moving. I will be stuck in my house until I die, and we'll be using the wood in the forest to build my coffin. But looking ahead to people who might be looking to buy or sell, what markets are actually seeing greater than average movement from a buying, selling perspective?
Yeah, so right now, you look at, like, for instance, I live in Miami, Florida, and it feels just like for the last 3 years, it's been nonstop as far as people coming in, transactions getting done. I think Dallas, Texas is a market that's still very high. So I think those are two good markets as far as, a lot of churns going on right now. Where I think there's some softening is more in the Midwest right now. We saw some great price appreciation during 20 and 21 that is starting to soften a little bit, and that's where, it might be more of a buying opportunity. But sort of that Dallas, that Texas, Florida area still seems to have a lot of people coming in for different reasons, whether it be taxes or looking to get work remote, so come into a warmer climate or what have you. Those markets we've seen move quite a bit the last couple of years.
Jeff, what about out west, though? What about Nevada, Arizona? Because we've seen this mass exodus out of California. And a lot of that's politics and that's crime and that's all that other stuff. But if that continues, the housing markets that could be, I think, the most price sensitive could be a Phoenix, a Las Vegas. What's your outlook for those two cities?
I would agree with you. I think it's California, we're going to still continue to see people coming out. So from a Phoenix and a Las Vegas, I think those markets are going to be stable to potentially rising in the next couple of years. So I still think that demand for people wanting to go there is continuing to rise. And again, as we look at from a work from home perspective, right, while that is somewhat decreasing off the highs of obviously the pandemic in the year over, I think people have had a sort of a different mind shift in combining where they want to live with potentially also the home office being in the same spot. So areas like Phoenix and Las Vegas will continue to rise.
All right, interesting perspective, Jeff. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and during that, we're going to help Joe Concha figure out how to rent out his house.
I'm not helping him move.
There you go.
But that's what we're not helping him move. All right, Jeff Taylor. Jeff, thank you.